Welcome to the Barbados Today morning news update for Tuesday, November the 7th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story at this hour, Social Care Minister Steve Blackett calls on Barbadians not to use the differences within communities as an excuse for animosity and confusion. Addressing the annual Sagicor Life lighting ceremony in Heroes Square, the city last night, to mark the start of the community independence celebrations this month, Blackett warned against using such differences to rip apart the heart of the country.
We would be drawing on each other's strength and using our individual and community giftings to build a better Barbados. That is the mentality that needs to be cultivated if strength and unity are to be the outcomes of the community spirit we hope to develop and sustain.
Blackett also appealed to Barbadians to fully support all of the community events in the various parishes, including the Spirit of the Nation show at the Wilde Gymnasium on Saturday, November the 18th.
This event will showcase the best of parish talent and the parish ambassadors who will appear on stage in the presentation of parish projects, costume and formal wear. The Community Independence Celebrations program has over the years created a strong and lasting sense of nationalism and has made us more aware of the true meaning of independence. We therefore must not lose the vision of community participation and must continue to encourage self-help and pride in lifting our country up at every time.
Chairman of the Alliance Owners of Public Transport, Roy Raphael, says the pending hike in motor and property insurance is ridiculous. However, Raphael says his organization will have to meet with the insurance companies to determine what impact the expected 30% increase in premiums could have on the public transport sector.
We already face a number of issues related to, high insurance rates. We yet to meet with the minister to reduce the cost on to give us duty-free concession and increase the bus fare at this stage.
10 to 25% drastic.
We don't quite know yet. We will want to meet with the insurance companies as soon as possible, as I said earlier. We were told that it may have contributed to the fact that they have had a number of disasters within the Caribbean and where the insurance will have to raise because of that. But I did mention to you earlier that I don't see why we generally as an association or PSVs, even us generally represent taxis as well, that we should be able to face 10 to 15% increase and hike in insurance. I view that as ridiculous.
When Louise Armstrong and her son Stan of Hope Road, St. Lucie, went to bed Saturday night, the last thing they expected was to wake up and not find their car in the garage. The mother and son are now contemplating their next move after their car, a white Toyota Belter, license number G942, was stolen in the wee hours of yesterday morning. Stan, who was the last person to use the car, told Barbados Today he is especially bothered because all of his lighting equipment for work was in the car.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Join us from November 16th to 19th, 2017 for the Barbados Food and Rum Festival, where acclaimed Barbadian chefs and mixologists are joined by Chef Jean-Georges of the US, Chef Tom Akins of the UK, Chef Chris De La Rosa of Canada to create dining experiences to delight the senses. Visit ticketpal.com and all TicketPal locations to get your tickets, and visit foodandrum.com for more information.
Time now for regional news. The murder toll in Jamaica has surpassed that for the whole of last year, with 1,359 people killed between January 1st and November 4, representing a 26% increase. Of that number, 48 children and 8 police officers were murdered.
1,359 persons killed since the start of the year up to November 4. That's 280 more than the corresponding period last year. Illegal guns featured in 82% of the murders. A breakdown shows that 8 members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and 48 children were murdered, 1,200 men and 103 women. For shootings, 1,225 were recorded compared to 979 during the same period last year. There is, however, a reduction in other crimes: rape, aggravated assault, robbery, break-ins, and larceny. And the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry is again expressing concern about crime in St. James. National Security Minister Robert Montague and Police Commissioner George Coelho met with stakeholders on Saturday and were taken to task on several issues. Among them, an increase in murders and a shortage of police personnel in Montego Bay.
On the global front now, the U.S. Air Force has said it is investigating its apparent failure to enter information about Texas shooter Devon Patrick Kelly's past criminal history into the national database. An ex-airman, Kelly was court-martialed for domestic violence in 2012 and was barred from owning or buying guns. But last year, he was able to purchase a rifle he used in Sunday's attack on a small church outside San Antonio. He killed 26 people and fled the scene. He was later found dead in his car.
These offenses occurred somewhere between 2010 and 2011 and involved multiple occasions of domestic abuse against both his wife and his stepson. His stepson was born about July of 2010, so was basically a baby when these offenses started. During this time, he would often be physically violent with his son, include violently shaking him. As a result of that, his stepson had suffered fractures, had a subdural hematoma, and then he was eventually charged after he confessed to committing these offenses. And then he was court-martialed, and as a result of that court-martial, he was sentenced to a year confinement and a punitive discharge, bad conduct discharge, reduced the grade of E1.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.